get this party started. Okie dokie. All right, so it's interesting how I had one person last week, that being Earl, who told me that my coach's book was wrong. And I should have noticed it myself. But if you remember from last week, our quote was from John Wooden. And in here, it says he's a college football coach. He's not a football coach. He's a basketball coach. So Earl was kind enough to fill me in, remind me that Wooden is a basketball coach. And for any of you, I haven't read it, but he does have a book. And from what I understand, that book is really awesome. I've never read it, so I might have to check it out of the library. So tonight, we're going to go to a baseball player, Hank Aaron. His motto was always to keep swinging, whether it was in a slump or feeling badly or having trouble off the field. The only thing to do was keep swinging. So tonight, I'm just going to stick with it, keep swinging for the fences, and you're going to come out of here with a good workout. So you know the drill. Right now you should be in your easiest gear or close to it. You should just be spinning at a cadence that's reasonable for you, whatever is most comfortable. As I've said to you guys in the past, I just kind of automatically go to 90. That's where my leg speed seems to go because it's very comfortable there. So if that's where it's good for you, just let your legs spin there. All we want to do right now is warm up. I know a number of you have warmed up already or have been warming up prior to my popping on. So you will just get a little bit more of a warm up. So today, in this workout, we're going to do some efforts that are going to, believe it or not, kind of spark the legs into action. And then we're going to do the complete opposite. We're going to kind of drag those legs down with some low cadence work. And it's good because it starts to strengthen the legs, but it also starts to get those little mitochondria in there, kind of worked up and working hard and getting stronger. As you know, and I'll say it over and over again, leg speed is great. Some exercises in changing it up is the best. So a lot of us tend to be very stagnant in our workouts, meaning that we do the same thing all the time. We might do the same course. We might do the same speed. The more you can switch it up and confuse the body, the better off you're going to be. So that's what we're going to do tonight. We're going to kind of confuse things a little bit. And for you, Susan, since you don't really have gears, we're going to just get you into, since you have your cadence meter working, use your cadence as your sense of where you should be in terms of the effort. Okay. Cadence is a great metric. It can help us really achieve a lot of things. So if that's all you have, and obviously you'll notice my leg speed as we go on, and you'll notice that as something that you can use to follow. So I think everybody at this point has done a workout, except for Susan, since she's so new to us, where we have been standing for some period of time. So our warm-up is going to include a little bit of standing. So what's the one thing we remember when we have to stand? We need a little bit of resistance under our feet so that the gear is not too easy. So I'm going to put you in a gear that's going to help you be in that right spot. When you stand up, you want to be in your hoods, and you want to go straight up with your body. I found this video of this little kid. He's probably 10, and he's in Italy. He's riding this little road bike, and he's climbing up these hills. He has the perfect form. I will try to show it to you guys at one point, because at 10 years old, this kid's going to be a superstar if he continues to ride his bike. So when we go to get to these standing efforts, I want you to just go straight up. So you have just a tiny bit of your saddle, the tip of your saddle, touching the inner part of your thighs. All right, so here's what's going to happen. 5 minutes worth of 30 seconds standing, 30 seconds seated. We are not going to switch gears from seated to standing. So you're going to shift to your big ring, and you're going to go down to the middle of your cassette or your 15. So if you look back, you should see 3 gears under your chain. That should be your 15. Hands in the hoods. 3, 2, 1. Stand it up. Just take some time. I want you to stand up tall. Nobody's doing this. You're here so that your legs can get extended and you can feel that nice resistance underneath you. Remember, this is a warm-up to the warm-up. 3, 2, sitting back down. Keep that gear. Now you want to get your feet light. Nice and easy. The gearing makes it hard, but you want to make your feet light. More pulling up than pushing down. And no pushing your heels down. 3, 2, standing up again. Nice and relaxed in your upper body. Your body should just move naturally underneath you. A little flex in the elbows. 3, 2, sitting down. Heart rate might be coming up a bit. That's what we want. You're starting to sweat. That's even better. Too bad for most of us, we didn't get to take advantage of today's temperatures. 3, 2, stand it up. Remember, this is a 5-minute effort. We're 2 minutes in. If you're feeling your legs burning, that's exactly what we want. A little bit of lactic acid creeping in there. So we're going to buffer that, sitting back down. Lactic acid is actually not a bad thing. If you work it properly, you start to get the body to adapt and understand what it is and how it works to your advantage. And up. Three minutes in, you're going to probably find your legs starting to open up a little more. If you find yourself feeling like you can go a little faster, then do it. 3, 2, sit down. You got one more standing effort. I can always feel my legs starting to come to life. We got one more to go. 3, 2, here we go. Last 30 seconds for this effort. Keep the legs moving. No dropping to the bottom of the pedal stroke. Should be a nice circular motion. Sitting back down, holding it for 30. Working the legs. You might want to notice where your cadence is right now. Mine's at about 60. Keep that in mind for later. You might find yourself back at this gear. Down to your small ring, up to your easiest gear. And remember, we do down to the small ring first, and then up to the easiest gear because we don't want to drop our chain. If that angle is too crazy, then you might drop your chain. Take a drink. We need that gearing to be proper when you make those changes. All right, so this next set, we are going to do 4 by 4. I'm sorry, 2 by 4. 4 efforts that are a 20-second all-out effort with 40 seconds of recovery. So the first one, I'm going to kind of give you a chance to settle in, determine what gear works for you. I want all of these to be seated. And remember, 20 seconds is don't bust out too hard because you want to be able to hold it for 20 seconds. 20 seconds doesn't seem to be a long time, but when you do 4 of them in succession with 40 seconds in between, they start to bite a little bit. So the first group of 4, you're going to do them in your small ring. And I would go to somewhere around 4 or 5 gears harder from where you are right now, so that you're working a little bit to make this happen. If you want to be in your drops, that's fine. If you want to be in your hoods, that works too. So go ahead and find the gear that you like. Sometimes an easier gear isn't always the best, or a harder gear isn't always the best. Got to find that perfect gear. 20 seconds, kind of all out like a sprint. 3, 2, 1, and build it. I'll give you 10-second intervals. When we hit 10, which is right now, 10 more seconds. 3, 2, 1. If you want to go to an easier gear, you may for that 40 seconds. So now we have 3 more of those to go. If that gear was good and you felt like you were working for it, then stay there. If it was too easy, hit a little harder gear. If it was too hard, hit a little easier gear. We're looking for leg speed and a 20-second effort that looks nice and solid. No dying. Find your gear. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Let's go. 20 seconds. If you have power, notice the power that you have at the start and try to hold that. 10 more to go. 3, 2, 1. Nice and easy. Give yourself that recovery. Remember, that recovery is for a reason, so that you can do each one of these in a good way. I forgot to mention, have your fan and your towel nearby if you don't already. And I know you all have a water bottle, a full water bottle, not just an empty one. All right, again, if you like the gear, go to it. 3, 2, 20 seconds. Let's go. Fast legs. If you can get your cadence over 100, that's good. 10 to go. Hold on to it. Don't let it drop. 3, 2, nice and easy. 3 down. 1 more to go. Then you'll get a little break. You'll be able to get a drink. Then we're going to do it all over again. So now you know what to expect for the future. You might want to experiment in the second set with a little harder gear, just to see what happens. It's okay to fail now. Here we go. 3, 2, let's go. During the winter, you don't have to be at top form. 10 seconds. Three, 2, 1. Back to that easy gear. These months in the winter are time to work on your base, work on your skills, work on your cadence, work on your strength by maybe doing some strength training, work on your flexibility by doing some yoga maybe, and maybe doing some different things. Go hiking, go skiing when we get some snow, go snowshoeing. 3, 2, nice and easy. You're going to get 1 minute easy. Take a drink. Now you found the gear that you think you liked, and you had 4 20-second efforts to work on how that felt. So these next 4, I want you to dial them in, make them all look the same, which means that from start to finish, you're holding the same effort. That's going to show where you're getting improvements as we do go through these. We're going to do 1 more set of this, and then we're going to move on to something else. So let's make this next set super solid. Go ahead and find your gear. 20 seconds again. 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Keep it consistent. 10 down. My cadence is at 100 if you're following me. 3, 2, 1. Nice and easy for 40. If your legs are burning here, that's good. That means you're going a little harder, because they weren't burning on the last 4. Start to learn how to read your body. Your breathing is one of those mechanisms. How your legs feel is another. All right, find your gear. 3, 2, let's go. I'm getting down on my drops. If you want to do that, you may also 10 down. 3, 2, 1. Nice and easy. Shift into that easier gear. If you feel like you need a drink in between, you're more than welcome to take one. I'd rather you finish a bottle by the end of the workout than have 3/4 of it still left. Because the hard part is we finish, we shower, we might eat something, we should eat something, then we go to bed. So we need that hydration. Find that gear. 3, 2, let's go. 20 seconds. Nice and solid. 10 down. Nice light feet. No pushing into the pedals. 3, 2, 1. Nice and easy. One more to go. If you feel yourself breathing hard, then you're making these happen. Our heart rate is a good indicator of a lot of things. We got one more to do. This one feels nice and long and good. Here we go. Find that gear. 3, 2, let's go. Last one. Make it the best one for this effort. 10 down. 3, 2, 1. Find that easy gear. Spin it out for 40 seconds. Then you're going to get another longer break in between this effort and the next. So for those guys who like high cadence, that was the effort for you. For those of you that like low cadence work, then your workout is coming up. All right, 3, 2, 1. Just find another easy gear. If you have it, take a drink. All right, you got 1 minute to kind of bring your heart rate down, bring the effort down, cool down a little bit. Now I'm going to challenge you. We are going to do a 5-minute effort with your cadence between 50 and 60 RPMs. So just like I mentioned to you at the beginning, when we were seated in our opening warm-up, my cadence was at 60. We're going to be in our big rings. You don't have to go there yet. Big ring and something that's going to put you at that cadence. So in terms of effort level, if you don't have any metrics, I want you to be kind of like 6 or 7 effort. If you have metrics, I want you to be only in your zone 3. You can touch upon the bottom of zone 4, but don't go into zone 4 if you can avoid it. This is more about the strength part of it. So your leg speed is going to be slow. It's okay. That's what we want. And we're going to hold that for a solid 5 minutes. I'll try to tell a story because that always makes it go faster. So go ahead and get to your big ring. Somewhere around your 16 or so, or even if you have to shift around to figure out what puts you at 60, then go ahead and do that. 3, 2, 1. If you're dealing with heart rate, again, use that heart rate to help you with the effort level. If you're using power, the same thing. So I'm in my big ring and about my 14. That has me right at 58 cadence. What we tend to do when we get in these big gears is we tend to push our heels down and then we start rocking because our body's trying to push this big gear. I want you to sit solidly in the seat. Get tall in your torso, meaning you're using your abs to feel yourself sitting in that saddle, using the upward part of the stroke to get your legs up and around, and your feet should be light. You shouldn't be feeling yourself pushing into the pedals. Hold it steady. So I told you guys that over the summer, we went out to Emporia, Kansas to do Unbound gravel. Unbound gravel has turned into the premier gravel event in the USA. So it has kind of a number of categories, lots of age groupers or people who just want to complete the challenge. And there are professionals there who are actually racing it. So there's multiple distances, everything from what they call the XL, which is 350 miles in 2 days, the 200 distance, which is like the premier distance. That's where most of the pros race. 100-mile distance, a 50-mile distance, and I believe there was a 25 or some kind of local smaller distance for maybe families and some kids. So we took 2 days to drive out there in 2 vehicles. It was me, Randy, Earl, who's on this workout, Lillian, who many of you may know from previous years, and another guy named Mark, who's been in and out of the session, so you might not know him. So we drove for almost 12 hours the first day to a town in Indiana, stayed at a hotel. And of course, driving for that kind of distance really is, and I don't know how many of you traveled with your families when you were kids, it is truly a bonding experience. I had game books for everybody. We were constantly texting and calling each other. It was really fun because we also made it a point to stop and have a picnic instead of going to Wendy's, McDonald's, or Arby's. And that made it even more special, having those times to just sit at a picnic table at a rest stop along the way and enjoy some good food. So that made it really fun. But man, driving across the country is incredible. 3, 2, 1, down to your small ring first, up to your easier gear. See how fast that went? Because I was telling a story. I love that part. Take a drink. All right. So here's how this next one's going to go. It's going to look just like our first effort of 2 by 4 by 20 seconds on, 40 seconds off. This time though, I want you to be in your big ring. You can pick whatever gear you want. If you want to do 10 seconds seated, 10 seconds standing, you can mix it up that way. If you want to do 10 seconds standing, 10 seconds seated, you can do that. Or if you want to do the whole 20 seconds standing, then go for it. And again, it'll be nice and easy, 40 in between each one. So we'll do 2 sets of those with a minute in between. And then we'll move on to the next thing. So take a drink again. Get your legs ready for what's to come. We're going to do 2 by 4 by 20 on, 40 off. And remember, this one's going to be a little harder because you're going to put yourself in your big ring. And again, if you need a drink in between any of these, you're welcome to go there. So find your big ring. Find the gear that you think you want. I'll give you 10 and 10, so you have a total of 20. You can do what you want. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Make it like a sprint. This one might actually feel a little bit more consistent. 10 down. Don't let it drop. 3, 2, 1. Nice and easy. Spin the legs. You can either stay in your big ring if you want, or you can shift down to your small ring for the recovery. This also helps you with shifting and practicing when and how and why, because we want to use our gears when we're riding. The legs might feel a little sluggish for these first couple. Big ring. Find that gear. 3, 2, let's go. Ten down. Keep hanging on. 3, 2, 1. Nice and easy. Woo. 2 down. Now the heart's flowing, blood's flowing, heart's pumping. You're going to be sweating now. You weren't before. We're kind of like a spin class. That's what everybody loves about a spin class. They keep them hot. Because the more people sweat, the more they want to come back. Find your gear. 3, 2, let's go. Nice and solid. 10 down. Stick with it. 3, 2, 1. That's 3 down. 1 more to go. Woo! Definitely need your fan today. Fortunately, hopefully, your fan has different modes, so you can turn it up. And surprisingly, this little bitty fan does amazing. Find your gear. Last one. Let's go. 3, 2, here we go. 10. Keep the leg speed going. 3, 2, 1. If you're staying in your big ring, stay there for 40. Don't shift yet. A little easier gear, not out of the big ring. We want to finish up that 40 seconds. Keep your legs moving. You're going to get a drink in 5, 3, 2. Now, if you went to the top of your cassette and you were still in your big ring, shift down for a few gears, harder, and then go to that small ring. So you're not dropping that chain. All right, take a drink, towel off, let yourself recover. We're going to do that again in the big ring. Don't have to go there yet. Don't have to go there yet. This is your recovery period. And we recover for on purpose. Because we want you to be able to do these efforts in a way that the body can handle. So if you watch either racing, what will happen is, unfortunately, if you get in a break, you're working hard the whole time. And the rest of the riders are just sitting back in the peloton, chilling, because they're rested. All right, we're going to do that again. You're going to go to big ring, find whatever gear you like. You're going to do 20 seconds hard. Find that gear. 3, 2, let's go. Short 1 minute in between. The body recovered, but not fully. 10 down. If you want to get out of the saddle, go for it. 3, 2, 1. Sit back down if you were out of the saddle. Shift to an easier gear. 40 seconds easy. Just like the last one. Total of 4. So you have 3 left. And in between these, don't stop pedaling. You want your legs to keep moving. All right, find the gear you like. 3, 2, here we go. I'm going to mix this one up. Do some standing and some seated. 10 down. Hold on to it. 3, 2, 1. Woo. 2 down. So the first one I did 10 seconds seated, 10 seconds standing. The last one I did 10 seconds standing, 10 seconds seated. Now I'm going to do 20 seconds standing for the whole thing. So if you want to follow me, you're welcome to do so. Find your gear. 3, 2, here we go. Total of 20. 10 down. Stick with it. 3, 2, 1. Easy for 40. You only have 1 more of these to go. Woo! Woo is the word of the night. Take a drink if you need it. Depending on how your daily hydration went today, you might need it. Last one of these coming your way. Find your gear. 3, 2, 1. Total of 20. Make this last one the best one. You know the motto. 10 seconds to go. This is when it counts. It's not the end of the workout yet. At the end of this. 3, 2. Back up to that easier gear. 40 seconds like the others. Check your breathing. Know where you are. You get a recovery after this one. All right, find your small ring. Make sure you're shifting so you can get a good shift. Take a drink. All right. So we're going to do that 5-minute low cadence all over again. So you should be in an easy gear now to get that recovery in. And then we're going to do one more 5-minute low cadence effort. So you've been working on a little bit of leg speed, a little bit of short, sharp efforts. We're just going to kind of work the heart and the lungs a little bit differently. And then those low cadence efforts, which are going to build some leg strength. So if you remember the gear you were in before for the 5-minute effort, you can go back to that same gear. Or if you feel like you want to shift to one harder gear and give yourself a little bit more of a harder effort, that's a good idea too. So go ahead, find your big ring. Find the gear that you were in. I'm going to go right back to where I was before and then shift down 1. My cadence might slow a little bit. I might be closer to 50 than 60. So I'm at 55. Want to keep it nice and steady. And again, this low cadence, be on top of the pedals, but you're not pushing. You're finding that upward part of the stroke, which pulls it up and over, because that's the hardest part, is getting up and over the pedal. So after our first day of travel, we stayed in a hotel, woke up the next day, and headed to an Airbnb that we had rented. We didn't know that this Airbnb was out in the middle of a cornfield, off a gravel road. And that was an adventure. Just driving down the road to get to the house, we were like, what? Is this the house? We actually passed it, had to come back. We found it. We got there, and the owner was on her riding mower cutting the grass. So we were truly in farm country. But the house was absolutely perfect. We had three bedrooms and really a basement that turned into the boys' room. Had a nice kitchen, nice open plan. Had a big giant deck in the front with kind of a gazebo. Perfect parking and so much space for us to spread out all of our bikes and crap. And of course, the homeowner, if you've ever been to the Midwest, they're very kind of, you ask them a question, they give you the answer. They don't elaborate. Kind of straight up kind of people. And that's the way she was. But she was nice. And it was nice to have the house work out so perfectly for us. The one thing, though, that you do notice when you drive across the country, once you get past Pennsylvania, Ohio, Indiana, Kansas, woo, those things are flat. I grew up in Western Pennsylvania, so nothing was flat there. This was crazy flat. You could see for miles. But we did have some pretty good rain, pretty good downpours. So our bikes were getting pretty hammered. We got there. We got settled in. You got 1 minute to go. Hang on to this. This is the last minute. See if you can increase your effort just a touch. That might mean bringing your cadence up slightly. Finding that circular pedal stroke that feels light, not heavy. Using those abs. Got to use your abs to pedal from. That pelvic floor becomes important. 15 seconds. If you're sweating now, that's a good thing. 5, 3, 2, 1. Small ring. Small ring, nice and easy. Up to an easy gear. Towel off. Keep the legs spinning. We're going to turn it down and end this workout. So just give yourself a minute to kind of get your legs back. And then we're going to kind of build a little cool down. That'll be nice to bring the legs back to life a little. So if you're ever doing any of these heavy kind of sessions like this one, where you're doing a low cadence and a heavy gear, one of the reasons why you don't ride your bike for 50 miles in a big ring at a low cadence is because your legs, your muscles can't sustain it. So by learning, teaching it a little bit, how to work in that for a small period of time, then get good at spinning your legs after that. So they can kind of open up and come back to life from that heavy effort. So whatever gear you're in right now, I want you to gradually bring your cadence up to about 100. as close to 100 as you can get. And make yourself super light. Really feel your legs get to 100, but they're not working. They're just kind of spinning along. Kind of shaking out some of those hard efforts. Bring that cadence down to 95. So you're going to slowly start to drop out. Keep the legs spinning. You should start feeling your heart rate coming down. Your body should start cooling, not sweating as much, hopefully. Don't be surprised if tomorrow you feel this in your glutes and your hamstrings a little bit when you work in those lower gears like that. It definitely engages some muscles that maybe you haven't been using. Bring that cadence down to 90. Keep bringing it down. If you have any water in your water bottle, try to consume it. So we're at 90. So now, after you've done those hard efforts in a heavy gear with a low cadence, 90 feels pretty good, right? 90 feels awesome. We rode last Saturday or Sunday, I can't remember what day it was. And when we got outside, it felt so good to spin my legs outside because I've been on the trainer for so much. It was so nice. It felt so free, like I didn't have a chain on. It was great. The legs felt really good. So bring that cadence down now to 85. So let it get slower. And if you can dial it right into that cadence, that's what I want you to work on. It's fun when you have those metrics to work within them. So this was a good one. Another good workout. I'll have more Kansas stories as the weeks go by. There's lots of them to tell. So much happened in, let's see, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. We didn't have, we were in and out of there like you wouldn't believe. It was amazing how quickly it went by. All right, bring it down to 80. Just a couple more minutes to go, and then we will be done. This was a little longer, as you can see, or look at, feel, a little longer than last week. A little harder efforts. I already know the ability level in the room, so I'm going to push you guys a little harder. You know, if you had a whole group of newbies here, different. Hopefully everybody's getting all their holiday shopping done. I talked to somebody yesterday, and she told me she finished. I was like, wow, that's pretty impressive. All right, last 40 seconds. Even bring that cadence down even further, unless you plan on staying on your bike a little longer. Get 30 more seconds in, and then we will be done. I don't know if anybody's been watching the World Cup. Should be exciting. Also, this weekend is USA Cycling Cyclocross National Championships. For any of you that know Stacy Barbosa, she got her third national title today. So that's kind of exciting. It's always fun to see local athletes succeeding. And they're in Connecticut or Massachusetts. And I guess the course, because of all the rain that we've had, the course was just destroyed. So lots of mud for those of you that know cyclocross. That's what cyclocross people love. More mud makes it better. So great job tonight, guys.